Hey, yo, if I die, I love y'all niggas.
What you saying? Did they give you any other?
I finally got my head right. I move in silence, you won't catch me in them headlights. And they love to say they love you if they need some. If they see you moving solid and your bread's right. I finally got my head right. I move in silence, you won't catch me in them headlights. And they love to say they love you if they need some. If they see you moving solid and your bread's right. Pick up the county, put it down for the town.
We're back at it after what? It's been a couple weeks here, bro. It's been a
couple
few weeks.
I'm sorry, everyone thought we were done with the podcast.
I know, that's what I heard. But one of the big reasons was what's been up with you? Where you moving? Where you been up to?
I'm out, bro. I changed locations on everybody. I'm now in Henderson, Nevada. It's an amazing city, amazing community. I'm like 15 minutes, no, closer than that. It was crazy. I'm 10 minutes from the Vegas Strip, like on the road, bro. Like I remember we went there to visit the other day, the Strip, and it's like we hopped. I would compare it to living in Mount Washington. You know what I mean?
Downtown Pittsburgh,
just
yeah.
That proximity to Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh. That's literally what it is. Like you hop on the highway. Next thing you know, I'm on my main street. I'm like,
you better be careful out there.
hey, you know the poker tables, they've already been calling my name.
I was gonna say that's right.
They're not open. We visited Caesar Palace.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Nothing's open.
I mean, a lot is open low key. They're not following too many rules out here. I'm gonna keep it 100%. I mean, everyone has masks and everything, but like as far as social distancing and stuff, like bro,
not happening.
Everyone's out. There's so many people. It's insane.
Yeah. What kind of brought you out there? I know your girl moved out there, but what kind of took you out that way?
Yeah, like my whole life, bro. You know, I've always wanted to come out west. That's been like, you know, my dream. I never knew how it would happen. I never knew when or if it could, but it's always been like, you know, that dream. I want to live in, you know, Cali one day. I want to live in the sun my whole life. And once I started taking fitness real serious as like a career path, and once I met my girlfriend that I'm dating now, we kind of had the same dream of just wanting to move out west. And I started, you know, putting pieces together, started doing research. And, you know, fitness is a huge scene out here in the Vegas area. You know what I mean?
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
It's like I go out here, I see people just like walking around just for no reason. Like Walmart, just I'm like, bro,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? I'm like, you're my cashier.
You're swole for no reason.
Swole, like why? I'm like, so I've been working hard since I got out here. I'm trying to trying to keep up with everything. I've been twice a day. I've been running and lifting and trying to get right because I know how, you know, what I need to do to, you know, be successful out here.
I got to give you credit. That's a tough field because you got to be an animal. You know what I mean? Like there's no if you're not a beast.
100%.
You know what I mean? There's nothing. It's tough, but that's cool. Good for you, bro.
Trying to get right, but it wasn't that easy getting out here, bro.
I know. Yeah, talk about that. What happened?
It was almost a crazy situation. So, my girlfriend, she, you know, before we leave to come out here, she got her car fixed. She did all the precautions, you know, to make sure we were cool to drive all the way across the country. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we start the trip. Everything's going smooth. We stay in St. Louis. St. Louis was a beautiful city, by the way. St. Louis.
I saw that on your Instagram. That was cool.
Yeah, shout out to St. Louis. It was super dope out there. So we get up the next day, and I think where did we stay the next night? I forget where we stayed. Somewhere in Denver, maybe. I don't know. Honestly, don't remember. But it was the second night we crashed. Yeah. So yeah, we're driving through the mountains of Denver, bro, and it's almost nighttime at this point.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, she's driving at this point. I'm taking pictures of the mountains. I'm having fun. This is a great moment.
Enjoying it, yeah.
Enjoying it, yeah. So she feels the car kind of gets swerved over to the right a little bit, and we looked at each other and we thought something with the highway. We're just like, oh, maybe that was something in the road or whatever. Okay, whatever. So she's like, let me go to the next lane. As soon as she tries to go to the next lane, it was just like the whole car, bro, was like just spinning, bro. We're on the highway, bro. 3-lane highway going downhill in the mountains, bro. Downhill in the mountains. And mind you, I'll tell that later, but going downhill in the mountains, spinning out, bro. I got the dog in my hand and he's just looking around.
Like,
yeah, we're just holding each other, bro. Like I thought it was a wrap. Like there's railings, like we could go off the mountain, bro. Like it was a crazy situation.
That's insane.
We eventually, stop. We eventually stop, and she's able to, pull the car over off the road. And it was crazy, bro, because before we kind of spun out, before we kind of, that happened, I said to myself, like, as we were driving, I'm like, wow, I'm like, there's no cars on the road, like all day since we've been driving.
Yeah, going up and back, yeah.
Up and back, like busy, super busy. And I remember saying to myself, like, oh wow, like there's nothing out right now. It wasn't too late yet. It was probably 8 at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, it's crazy. There's no one around us. Next thing you know,
like,
that happens. As soon as we pull over, traffic starts flowing immediately. So we get out and we don't know what's going on with the car. I'm kicking tires. I'm like, we popped a tire or something. I'm kicking them, everything's straight. I get to the wheel and like I can spin the whole thing like, yeah, it's not stopping. I can just spin it. I'm like, something's wrong with the car. I'm like, this wasn't on us. I'm like, something's wrong. And so we don't know what to do. Like we barely have service, bro. We're in the mountains. It's almost dusk. I'm like, oh man. I'm like
freaking out, I bet.
I'm like, what's about to happen out here? I'm like, I don't got any protection. I'm like, what's about to happen? We eventually click the SOS button in her car. It was like a help service in the car.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And they were able to know like the exact longitude, latitude of where we were at, and they sent like a tow truck probably an hour later. And at this point, between that hour, I was able to get hold of my dad, and she talked to her. They were calm, we were cool.
Yeah.
And so the tow guy gets over, and he immediately tells us. He looks at the back of the tires, and he's like, something. He told us something was off. He was like, he told us what it could be. And at this point in the car, we're thinking like, oh man, like babe, you just got your car fixed. Like, did they mess? Like, we're thinking like, oh no, it can't be, man. Whatever.
Yeah.
The tow guy, he tells us to a hotel and the car to the nearest Hyundai dealership. And the next morning we find out that, listen to this, the Hyundai dealership out here in Denver told us that the one in Pennsylvania where we got it fixed, she got it fixed. They told us that they just forgot to put something on. Like they just didn't put like a bolt, like a special bolt. It just wasn't on.
Oh my god.
It just wasn't there. So we're like,
bro, that's insane.
Yeah, we're livid at this point. We're livid, like not livid, honestly, because
rightfully so though.
The state that we were in, we were kind of just grateful. We were just grateful to be.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I haven't really been mad throughout the whole thing. Upset, but like not like not. You know what I mean? I haven't been pissed off at the situation, but yeah. So we find out it was their fault. We called the PA dealership. They tell us, we're gonna help everything. We're gonna pay for the repairs. We're gonna pay for your hotel. We're gonna pay for food. You know what I mean? We're gonna.
That's cool. Take care of you.
So we were like, fuck it.
Take advantage of that.
we went to some steakhouse, had some wine. Like we were cool.
I would too.
Doing some sightseeing and everything. It was a good time. It kind of helped us grow us a little closer. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, you go through something like that. I mean, bro, that's crazy. And the fact too that like, bro, that's why it's crazy because like you noticed that there were no cars on the road, and then like a split second later,
it was nuts.
Like I'm sorry, but that's not a coincidence. Like there's a reason why you noticed that, and then something happened where if there were cars on the road, that could have been
bad,
catastrophic.
Yeah, it could have been.
I mean that could have been really. You know what I mean? Or you hit a 18-wheeler. I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows? I mean, the fact that
as far as we did.
I know. Yeah, that too. Like, how did you guys make it literally 2 states over, a state over from where you're supposed to be? Is just
And it was crazy because where we had crashed, it's like it all was like meant to be. Like my aunt Rhonda, she lives over there. She was like 15 minutes from us. So
oh my gosh.
We're traveling across the country. I don't know anyone in none of these states. We crashed in the spot where I got family. You know what I mean?
Bro, wait. You got family like 15 minutes from where you guys crashed?
Yeah. How nuts is that? How crazy is that?
Bro, I just got chills.
How crazy is that? Yeah. I called her. She's like, she was helping, being real helpful. You know what I mean? It was dope.
Oh my gosh. That literally, I still have chills. Like, that's crazy. That you guys literally drove from across the country. You didn't just drive a couple cities over. You drove from across the country, and the minute you guys crashed, you're 15 minutes from a family member.
Yeah. My close friend.
That's not a coincidence.
It's nuts. It was nuts.
That's not a coincidence. That's insane. Wow, I didn't even know all that.
It's just, you know what I mean? Just keep a strong faith, everybody. I mean,
you got
to. The universe, your God, Jesus, you know what I mean?
Whatever.
It is for you, you know what I mean? To teach you.
Yeah, use it for yourself. Exactly. That's true.
Have your faith at the end of the day, 100%.
And that's what I'm keep trying to tell people about, especially people in my family, like about this whole, you know, coronavirus and stuff. And, you know, people are talking so many risks. And I'm like, listen, guys, like, it's going to be what it's going to be. Like, you do your social distancing, you practice, but, like, at the end of the day, like, this thing's going to stay around as long as it's meant to stay around here. You know what I mean? Like, we can only do so much things, and you know, that kind of leads into a little bit. My girlfriend and I, we were running an online summer camp. This summer.
I saw your picture. We got to plug it. What was that in your hand?
Mitten.
We got to plug that. You look so happy. I'm like, oh, that's my guy.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we were doing a Zoom summer camp, and we had 60 plus kids on there. So Emily and I, my girlfriend, we had worked at the summer camp. She's worked there for 3 years. I started last year, like in person. Great family that owns it. And so when this all started, they were like, we're going to have to close. And so we were all like, and we had talked about it a little bit. And Emily was like, why don't we just do an online camp? And our owner was like, okay. So Emily literally did everything. She put it together. She found the platform we were going to use and everything. And then it was like the day before it started, we were both a little nervous. We're like, these kids are going to hate it. Like, they're not going to want to sit in their computer. And after the first day, we both were like, they loved it, bro. Like, we were playing music. Like, you could share music on Zoom. Like, and so we were playing music and have a dance party. That mitten is our oven mitt. Okay. And I used to mess around with it, like, in our house, just with Emily, like, messing around, like, joking. And I did it one day with the kids, and they loved it. And, like, a lot of them were, like, in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, and, like, we were both surprised with how much they, like, engaged with it. And so we just kept rolling with it. And it was surprising. And that's what, you know, I see everyone.
That kind of gives hope. That gives me hope going for the future. You know what I mean?
Well, it definitely does. And that's what I was just going to say, like, you know, with the big topic right now, is if we should push to go back to school in person, right? I've seen a lot of states. Donald Trump comes out and says schools are going to be back. We're pushing schools to be back. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, hold on here, guys. As much as like the health risk, whatever it is, like, you know, I saw some pediatricians were talking about that it could be safe. And the sickness, kids may not carry it. The chances of them really passing it may be slim. But I said, what's worst case scenario? We open schools, right? What's worst case scenario? A kid dies. A teacher dies.
Yeah.
You don't understand how traumatic that is for especially an elementary school student or even a high school student. If your teacher dies because of something that's going on, I mean, that's lifelong rather than just a one school year that might be online. And like after
my sister, she went through that. And back in the day in elementary school, there was a teacher, you know what I mean? And it hit her for the longest time. Bro,
that's tough. And two, just, I mean, it's you know, coming forward, we're having a lady come on, one of the episodes coming up, and she's running for some offices, but she was also a former teacher. So I'm really eager to ask her what kind of her opinions are on it when we talk to her.
Quick little teaser. I'm excited for that one.
Me too. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good one. But yeah, once you fill us in, like
the future is something like you know really exciting with the podcast, especially because you know Nick and I have been we've been plotting. We've been plotting, everybody.
Took these weeks off to figure some things out.
We haven't been just chilling, you know what I mean? We got some cool things really happening for you guys, and we're kind of taking this into a more entertaining kind of show for each and every single one of you listening to us today. It's the HeadRight podcast at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We still want to put heads together to move in the right direction. We want to bring those different perspectives. And, you know, going off of that different perspective thing is there was a clip that really sparked this idea for me. And you watched the whole thing.
Yeah. I watched the entire thing, bro.
It was crazy. Yeah. If you haven't,
good.
I'm definitely something I also want to do is I really want to plug the things that we're talking about in the descriptions and stuff like that. I'm gonna plug the Revolt Summit in the description for you guys to go watch. And basically, what it was all these Atlanta icons, T.I., Killer Mike, Candace Owens, to name a few, were brought together, and they had like a forum style debate, kind of argumental conversation.
And this was like 8 or 9 months ago too, right?
This was a little while ago. This was a little while ago, and it was just really exciting to watch and informative to watch, and kind of cool to see these different perspectives go at it. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't holding nothing back. I mean, but the thing is, like, they did it in a way where feelings weren't hurt. You know what I mean? Maybe some pride, definitely some pride was hurt. But you know what I mean? It wasn't an FU type of conversation.
No, they were trying to have a conversation to make things better, which is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. So going forward with the podcast, we're gonna have some different perspectives on the podcast. That's what I'll say. We'll have some different perspectives. Some different perspectives on it. And we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. And yeah, we're excited to kind of bring those heated debates to you guys, and hopefully you enjoy. But we're still gonna, like I said, it's still gonna be an informative podcast. I still want to get the lawyers on. I still want to get, you know what I mean, the police officers on. I still want to get the teachers on. We're still gonna, you know, inform and learn and kind of grow. But at the same time, we're gonna
open this up a little bit.
Open the door a little bit to do some more.
That's what you have to do, bro. And like, Facebook's not the place to do it. You know, I've seen so many people make a status, make a post, a comment, whatever, and there's pages of comments and arguments, and I'm like, talking about it and writing about it are two totally different platforms. And like, if it was possible, being in person is the best way to do it. But in a world we're living in, that's not always accessible. But like, you need to be able to talk about these things, putting these videos out where you're able to talk about things that you disagree on. And like, I was driving yesterday. Why do you disagree on that? I want to know why you think that way. I want to know why you think that. Because you may be coming from, maybe you had an experience that, you know, maybe opens up my eyes a little bit. Oh, I didn't think about it that way. You know, let me hear what you have to say. Instead of just saying, no, you're wrong. You're wrong.
100%. And that's kind of going off a book that I'm reading right now, bro. It's called Race Manners. And it was something that was really eye-opening. The book right so far is kind of just giving you those, this is a black guy speaking really objectively, and kind of just opening my eyes, and also opening, you know, white people who read this book, their eyes to just what's going on. And something that really stuck out was like, I definitely have a picture of the quote. I wanted a book that would focus on the countless ways, great and small, we confront racism. White women clutching purses in the presence of black men, black women bristling at white women who date black men, white drivers eyeing black squeegee kids. I don't even know what that means. Whites backing away from racial topics because blacks seem so sensitive. Blacks blowing off racial discussion because whites will never understand. Just to name a few of the things he was getting at in that chapter. And basically what he's doing is kind of just putting it out there and putting the reasons why, psychologically and economically, and all the reasons behind it, why these stigmas and why these you know, traditions, if you so will, kind of have come about, and just looking at it like, oh, that's really stupid. You know what I mean? So it's opened my eyes, and I've gotten into more discussions going forward, and that's exactly what
I'll have to get that. It's called Race Manners?
Yeah, I'll send it over to you. Yeah, I'll send it over.
I'll have to get that, bro.
Yeah, it's really
That'd be cool. I'll definitely read that.
Yeah, with this episode specifically, we wanted to bring on our guy, Denzell. We wanted to get Denzell on the podcast this week.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit from your perspective, what you saw on that.
Yeah, so our friend Denzell, we've known him since I was 6 years old. Kind of had a little interaction with him and his cousin with some police officers that nothing major came out of it as far as, you know, no one got hurt or anything, but there were some things that happened, some things that were said, and really the big picture thing, you know, the fear factor played a huge role in it. And I think that that's something that people really need to look at, just because in this video you'll see they're talking about registrations and things like that. We've seen time and time again, that's how things start. First it's about registration, then it's about someone having a gun in the car or drugs, and then all of a sudden there's a young man or a young woman getting shot on the street. And I think that that's where people need to understand. It's not just about the registration. It's about what could lead afterwards. And I hope that, you know, conversation we'll have with him will kind of give us some insight on how he really felt about it.
100%, bro. And just like you said, that fear factor. And this is this was like emotional for me, to be honest. Like sometimes watching it back, I kind of get a little emotional just with the things that, you know, just putting yourself in his shoes in that situation is something that I've been put through for a few times in my life. And I know it's something that goes through every single day. And it's that fear that we live with, you know what I mean? And that's something I want to kind of redirect. I want to redirect that energy in a more positive, more you know, confident energy than fear in the future.
For sure.
But but it's something that we live with every single day right now. And you know, I want to, you know, get Denzell on here. I want to show you guys this clip. Because it hits at home for me and a lot of people that watch it today. So let's play the chopped up clip.
Followed him from Sheets in Youngwood, PA to my house in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Followed my cousin and pulled him over the whole way from Youngwood.
Sir? I'll be with you in 1 moment.
He just said a slight odor of marijuana in my cousin's car, yo. My nigga is a CDL driver. Look where his hand is. Look where his hand is, dog. Look where his hand is.
You have ID on you?
I just need your name.
Cork White, Pennsylvania State Police. My badge is 12095. Do you have ID on you?
Appreciate you, sir. Go to my Chris nigga right here, dog. This nigga right here, homies. And he gonna try to get behind me. On God, he gonna try to get behind me. Yeah, this nigga. Now this nigga pulled me. Now this nigga just pulled me as soon as I got in my car, dog. Supposedly because of my tent. That's what he said, bro.
Are you kidding me?
He turned right around. He turned right the fuck around, got here and I couldn't even pull the fuck out. This man is fucking fun.
I know that, but just keep a cool head. This is what they want you to do, man. They want you to react.
I've served overseas with every race.
Hey, yo, if I die, I love y'all niggas.
What you saying? Did they give you any other?
Oh my God, Denzell Jackson. This is him now joining the podcast. Zell, good morning, bro. What's up?
Yeah, it's cracking with you.
It's early. What time is it for you guys? It's 7-8. It's 9:52.
Yeah, almost 10.
It's 10 over there. So Zell's getting his breakfast.
Getting his breakfast in.
He woke up for us this morning. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I do. So Denzell, why don't you kind of walk us through a little bit kind of what happened? You know, we saw the video, we saw you live. We kind of started with your cousin and everything, you kind of walking down and being there. Just kind of walk us through kind of what happened and what followed, you know, the interaction that the officer had with your cousin.
Man, so what had happened was, this is my dog here, my dog KJ, my best friend.
I have KJ in the building.
He hears people, he loves people.
We are animal friendly.
But was right. My cousin came to get a haircut. You know, a haircut. A lot of y'all know what a haircut is. I'm a barber. Okay, so boom. My cousin's coming from. I don't even have to say cities per se, but he's coming from. Okay. Stops at Youngwood to get gas. Okay, my cousin is a bigger black man. He has a nicer car. He's a CDL driver. Okay. So my cousin calls me at this time as he's getting gas. Yo, this police officer, sitting at Sheets. I'm pulling out. He's pulling out behind me. Yeah, I mean, I'm on the phone the whole time. I'm like, all right, cool. So me, I'm starting to get my clothes on. You know what I mean? I'm figuring, okay, he's about to get pulled. From Youngwood, so Youngwood is about 10, 15 minutes from my house. At least, yeah. So, full time, he's following him. He gets to the McDonald's down the street, pulls over beside him, rolls his window down. Like the officer rolls his window down beside my cousin. So, you know, I actually see it. He shows it to me. So in this case, I'm already thinking from the officer's standpoint, okay, he's going to pull him over, say he smells weed or some shit. So boom, 2 lights over, cousin makes the left, gets pulled by Parkwood. I was already in my car. Mm-hmm. So I get in my car. I pull over. I have my dogs with me. I pull over in front of somebody's house. Park my car. Turn my car off, right? Cousin pulled over. I start recording. Whole time this officer has his hand on his gun.
The whole time. That's something I noticed. I was from watching your Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So it was a corporal. I forget his name and everything. I have it written. I have it written down somewhere.
Oh, we got it. It's right on live.
It was a corporal from the state police. So his whole time, right? So he starts hitting my cousin with, the usual. He's like, registration. Says something about his insurance. Says something about his tent. Says he smells weed. Ask my cousin to blink his eyes. Okay, asking all these questions.
For what? Like
for what? I'm saying. So like I said, I'm sitting there. I'm just recording. Like, so this all inspired, and then you know how it goes. Like that live I think was about 17 minutes, and he was probably over for like 2 minutes before that. Like, and they take their license, go back to the car, bullshit.
All that, yeah.
So that inspired, I tell my cousin after that happens, I'm like, yo, because like I said, he's sitting there with his hand on his gun. Go to the crib. Go to my crib. My crib right up the street. You know what I'm saying? My crib right up the street. Go to the crib.
Mind you were just chilling on the sides. You weren't messing with you weren't doing nothing. Yeah.
So I'm sitting here. So the person's crib I parked in front of was, it's like my good friend, Nick Sanders.
Yeah. It was his grandfather, right?
Yeah, his grandfather right there on the bench. So I'm sitting here talking to him. Mm-hmm. So he was outside of his crib. Also at this time, I forget their name, but my brother graduated with their daughter. Their parents
Tabita.
Yeah,
Tabita. I know Jeff Tabita lives, and Erica lives right down there. Yeah.
So they were out there. Okay. So like I said, I'm still recording. He drives past me to this, so I get in my car, right? He pulls over to the little stop sign, does a U-turn, gets behind my car, turns his lights on, pulls me over.
And you hadn't even gone anywhere yet.
I haven't gone anywhere. Just hop back in my car because I just got done talking to Giovanni's grandfather.
Let me put you where I was at in this moment, bro. I was watching your live the whole time from my phone, and like you've gone live before when stuff like this happens, because this is something that's what the story that you're telling is an occurring thing. So I'm watching your live and I see you get pulled over, and mind you, I don't have a car. I live like half a mile, probably a mile up the road. I haven't ran that fast since track season. I was in the 400-meter dash, bro, at PSAC Championship. I'm just running because it's right whenever. Just keep going. I just want to tell you where I was at watching this whole thing.
So boom. So then he pulls me over, where I start as I'm sick. Like I'm about to get out of my car because I know like I'm sitting here. You know what I mean? I got my dogs in my car. You know what I mean? You know me, my gun's right under my seat. You feel me? I have a license to carry. So boom, I already know he pulled me over because you know what I'm saying? I just went on live because you just did some dickhead shit. I just caught you that's entrapment. You followed my cousin literally 15 minutes to pull him over and try to entrap him, try to say some weird shit. Like he had all his shit. His registration was up to date. His insurance was up to date. You know what I'm saying? He don't smoke. No, like, you know what I'm saying? Like just weird shit. Like, so he pulls me over. How you pull me over when my car is sitting? I just got in my car. You know what I mean? So
I think for me that when I was watching it, that was the part that frustrated me the most was watching you and watching your reaction. Just made me very sad too, because like you just said, you know, you have your gun under your seat. There's a case that happened, what was that, 4 years ago now, with Philando Castillo, where he goes and reaches for his registration to show the officer that he's, you know, legal to carry, and ends up getting shot. And Terry, I think when me and you talked about it, you said this is how these things escalate. Like even though, you know, Denzell, nothing happened to your cousin, and you know, relatively nothing really happened to you. It's how these escalate. Like if Denzell, if you didn't really compose yourself, like because you had every right to kind of be upset and be frustrated.
100%.
If you don't compose yourself in this manner, it's like that's how they escalate. And like from my point of view, police officers should be held to a higher standard. Like, as a teacher, for me, if I got a kid who's yelling, throwing a desk at me, that doesn't give me a right to throw a desk back at him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the responsible one. So, I mean, I credit to you, Denzell, too, for how you handled it, because I felt that you handled it without being too, I mean, you were frustrated, you were upset.
At the point when he pulls me, the second cop car already pulls up. He pulls up his backup buddy.
So I didn't even see that part. So did they block off like the whole street?
Damn near. They only let people like there was enough only like the people could go by.
Like could go around.
Yeah.
That's
like,
crazy.
I couldn't even pull off. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I should have. You know what I'm saying? I just went to my crib because I wasn't in the wrong. I wasn't doing nothing. So boom, he pulls me right. He says he pulled me because my registration. Okay, I had just got this card in May, and my plate was registered to my Mercedes, which I haven't had since last year.
I mean, my question to that though, like if I were to talk to him or any officer, how does he know that off the jump? Like it
doesn't. He doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't.
He didn't know that off the jump. He just wanted to pull me because he pulled me and then he sat behind my car and then started like, you know what I'm saying?
ran it. Yeah.
What it was it's just like how the escalation thing you were talking about. As humans, like he sees Zell, you know, messing up his day, and Zell, you were just recording, trying to save your friend. He sees that. He's like, oh, I'm taking one step further.
Yeah, being disrespectful.
I'm gonna go here. You could have been like. You could have yelled.
I'm going to take it here.
I'm going to take it here. And then next thing you know, that's how these situations happen. Exactly what you were pointing to. That's how people end up getting shot. So it was just the fact that this situation even occurred. You know,
and I think too, like the expectation for normal, typical citizens to have to be the ones. Like I heard Shaq was talking to his sons about it. He was like, "Guys, you're gonna have to be the one to, you know, de-escalate the situation." And like for that to be the expectation, that needs to flip-flop. Like it should be the police officers that are supposed to de-escalate the situation because that's what they should be trained to do. Exactly.
They're on the clock.
Exactly.
Like you can't just say human interactions. Like people take things one step further. You're a cop. Like this is your job. Yeah. You should know how to de-escalate situations. And this isn't even a situation that needed to be de-escalated because this is a situation that shouldn't have even happened.
Yeah.
It was just his pride got hurt. You know what I mean? Because he put someone over and he found nothing on him. You know what I mean? His pride got hurt. Okay, let me mess with your buddy.
And I think too, like exactly what you just said. Like I saw like a bunch of people, I don't know who it was, were commenting on it and like saying like, dude, just relax. Like it's fine. Like nothing's gonna happen to you. But like, even though like maybe in this case, like nothing really happened. Like you didn't get in trouble. You didn't really get arrested or anything. Like we're talking about. These are how these situations happen.
Well, you know how many times I have been pulled out the car and in handcuffs just because?
Exactly.
100%.
You feel me? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was pulled over a couple weeks ago in handcuffs just because for the same situation. And then when it came back that, yeah, like, you see my pink slip and the shit's right. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's during the COVID. They know the DMV's messed up. Leave me alone. Give me my stuff and let me be on my way. This officer just wanted to play games. So, yeah, he's running my stuff. So, I show him all my information. I call the notary where I do my thing.
Right there in the car you called, right?
Yeah, right there in the car. Like I said, he's giving me all these problems and whatnot. Every other officer, like I said, when they see the pink slip, I live in Southwest. You know what I'm saying? Officers pass me all the time. You know what I mean? I'm always out the way. Like, you know what I mean? I'm driving everywhere. I have been followed by officers all the time. Like, I don't be getting pulled like that. You know what I mean? Like, so they should know. Like, they should know, like, what the deal is. Like, but this one time, this officer wanted to, like I said, he wanted to abuse his power because of the situation he was caught in. And now I'm sitting here stuck in a situation now because he actually wrote me a fine to say that I'm driving without registration. Well, like I said, the pink slip's right there. Yeah, like, I have to go to court. Like, you know what I mean? And fight this now. Like, the lady who owns the notary that I went to, like, is about to come to court. They didn't even send me the court date yet, but, like, I have to go to court and fight that. Like, and the lady from the notary said she's going to come because, like, it's bullshit. Like, she's the one who did the paperwork. Like,
yeah.
just don't
this
make
is
no
exactly
sense.
what that cop wanted, just to make your day hard, and now your week's harder. And
Yeah.
what I wish, like, just seeing, like, watching that clip again and seeing just like just the anger and the fear. Like, I know we had talked about this before, Nick. I wish there was that, like, that sort of location or that database or that whatever it is that has that will give us that confidence with whether it's having access to your rights or the law right there, or just the judicial system, and just having that. Remember, we talked to the lawyer.
Like honestly,
Something
like an
affordable,
app,
you know what
like
I mean?
an app.
Yeah,
Literally
yeah.
make an app where you can like go on and say, like almost like okay, this is what happened. Click, it takes you to another page. This is what happened, and then like maybe it's like a lawyer answering questions or something
Right
about
there,
what you should
right
do.
there.
Yeah, right. As you're waiting for the exactly.
Something affordable, not like, you know what I mean, thousands of dollars, but something like, you know, affordable.
I'm gonna keep it 100. You can put this in there. You don't gotta put it in. I don't care. Officers do this, bro, and a lot of people they don't realize. Whenever I be having my gun, like, you know what I'm saying, they take the gun, right? They take a bullet out of your clip.
Yeah.
People do that. They take I've gotten my gun back from officers I make sure I know how many bullets are in my clip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if they take the one out the head, you know what I mean, they don't put it back in.
Yeah.
Into the clip. You know what I'm saying? So that way now, you know what I mean, say something happens, now they have your bullet in you know what I'm saying, in their shit.
Yeah. They go, yeah.
Like, or you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. I'm not no person like, you know what I mean? Like, they shouldn't fucking try to set me up, but like, them niggas could set me up. Put my bullet, you know what I'm saying?
Somewhere else, yeah.
Like,
I believe that happens. Yeah. After hearing that, I believe that happens.
Yeah, bro. Like, that shit's wild. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and people don't realize that. People, like what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna say? They're like, oh, how do you know? Nigga, I know how many. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I didn't get in a shootout today. I know my clip's full.
Yeah.
Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
100%.
And I think, like, for us doing this, like, that whole culture has to change. And I mean, obviously none of us are in law enforcement or a cop, but we know people. I don't know how do you change that culture? Like, how can it not be where, you know, Denzell's driving in a white neighborhood and gets pulled over, or go back to 2011 with Trayvon Martin, same thing, walking in a white neighborhood, and just because he's a young black kid wearing a hoodie, he gets looked at that he's doing something wrong, or he's doing something, or he's up to no good or something. It's just like, how can that change from specifically police officers' point of view? Because like that can't be their mindset that everyone is bad.
100%.
You know what I mean?
You know how many? Look, as a kid, I used to get harassed by the cops, pulled over. Now I don't say pulled over because I didn't have a car back then, but like, you know what I'm saying, like, stopped by the cops, chased by the cops, just for the fact that, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying, like, we used to be at Fifth Ward hooping. Cops
Always.
Cops would come
drive up.
What's your name? What do y'all do? Wait, what? Like, for what? We're shooting. We're shooting basketball. Like, what are you talking about?
Going forward, man, is I'm gonna keep in touch with you. You gotta let me know what's going on with the court situation, and you know, I just want you to keep your head up, because like, this is exactly what he wanted. You know what it comes down to, but everything's gonna be, you know, figured out. You're gonna be cool. You're gonna be straight. But it's just about us, you know, like having that composure that you had in the car there. That's, you know, that's something that we all got to do in that moment.
That's back to Denzell's quarterback days. Composure.
Back in his
Fuck, bro, cuz. I said, look, it's a scary situation, dog.
100%.
You never happen, like,
you never know.
Like, yeah, they can do anything. Like, boy messing around, we got the car and arrest you, and like, you see it all the time. The first thing they get you arrested for is resisting arrest. But what are you even arresting me for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in your instance where, you know, your car, the registration, whatever, is all license plates messed up. Like, how many times have we seen that where someone ends up shot? You know what I mean? Where someone, time and time again for the last 40, 50, whatever years, it's like yeah, maybe that time, you know, Denzell, you got an officer who he wasn't about to pull you out of the car, but how do you know that? In your head, everyone is going to be the one pulling you out of the car. And how do you don't have enough time to differentiate between that. I think that's something to look at too. Like,
for sure. It's something that it just has to get changed on all accounts.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard not to live with that fear because we see it and we experience it every single day. But what I want to try to just get out there is like for the next generation and for our kids, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to teach them. I want them to be aware and I want them to know history and what happens and what cops do, but I don't want them to walk around and their heart, because I walk around and I see a cop, like my heart will just drop. You know what I mean? I see the red blue lights and my heart just drops. And that living with that fear and that bad energy, it's not good at the end of the day. Yeah. So I want the next generation to be aware. I want them to be smarter than us. I want them to know what to do, but at the same time, I want them to approach it with confidence.
Yeah.
You know, with like, oh, I know how to handle this.
I know what to do. Yeah.
I know what to do. So that's something that as a world that we have to put in place, you know, for the next generation to follow. But what we're living with right now is real stuff every single day. And Zell came in, shared a real story with us, and I appreciate you, bro, opening up and talking us through that. And you know, we support you 100%.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
We'll be around for you, bro, and you're gonna be straight. You're gonna be straight, and you know, I appreciate it, dog. It's all love from here. You know that.
The ugliest boy.
I finally got my head right. I move in silence, you won't catch me in them headlights. And they love to say they love you if they need some. If they see you moving solid and your bread's right. I finally got my head right. I move in silence, you won't catch me in them headlights. And they love to say they love you if they need some. If they see you moving solid and your bread's right.
Pick up the county, put it down for the town.